Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the closing bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Katie Greifeld.
All right, let me get to some of the individual gainers. There was a lot to choose from. I'm going to start with Robinhood, number one gainer in the S&P 500, everybody. Finishing the day just shy of a 14% gain. Of course, closely tied to the crypto market, as you can buy crypto on the platform. Sure, so shares surging, as we saw, kind of anything to do with the crypto trade, really bouncing back today. And I should point, and this is even, late yesterday after the close, Robinhood, their market price target was cut to $130 a share from $155 by Truist Securities. Still bullish on the fintech company despite the weaker cryptocurrency market backdrop. I wonder if he doesn't like that call. I don't know. But anyway, he made that call, and we did see Robinhood, certainly an outperformer in today's session. Let's go on over to Strategy. Really some outperformance there as well. That company up pretty much closing at its highs of the session, up 26%. The Bitcoin Treasury Company reported a $12.4 billion fourth quarter net loss, driven by that decline that we've seen in the crypto prices. Analysts do expect the company can withstand further downturn due to its cash reserves. So that was good. And so, again, that crypto trade impacting this one. Michael Saylor, also of the company, saying that the margin calls are no margin calls, I should say, on the company. So some optimism there. And then thank you, Tim, for this one. Under Armour, UA is the ticker, finishing too at its highs of the session, up more than 19%. This stock is up about 50% year to date. 20%, though, of the float is short. The company surprised investors with a quarterly profit. Revenue also slightly above the consensus estimate, and management boosted its adjusted EPS estimate. So some outperformance. There's a lot I could have done. So, Romaine, do not add to the list.
Hey, pop quiz. What was the best performing large cap stock this week?
Oh, my God.
Lumentum, light, up 41% year, of course, off the back of those earnings that it had the other day.
Nice.
So I'm not adding, just adding context. Because you know what, Carol Massar?
What?
Context changes everything.
It totally does.
Yeah.
Totally does.
I was saying that.
How about some decliners for some context on stocks that move the other way? We got to start with Amazon, down 5.6% today. This after the company announced plans to spend $200 billion this year on data centers, chips, and other equipment. Andy Jassy is bullish. He says it's going to go toward the company's AWS. Most of that spending will be for AI workloads. Shares fell earlier by as much as 10%, but paired those losses to close down by 5.6%. The worst performer on a percentage basis in the S&P 500, Molina Healthcare. Shares just crumbled today. This after the company forecast 2026 profit that was less than half of what Wall Street expected. This due to higher medical costs, insufficient government repayments, lost more than a quarter of its market cap today. It's pulling out of the federal government's Medicare Advantage Part D program for 2027. It expects its Obamacare enrollment and total premium revenue to drop by more than 50% this year. And finally, Stellantis, the worst day ever for this company. Shares fell by 24%. The company's CEO, Antonio Filoso.
Can you tell people what Stellantis is? Because it's probably one of the worst rebranding exercises.
The maker of Jeep,
iconic
Chrysler.
Name. Chrysler, everyone knows. But Stellantis, go ahead.
Yeah, so Stellantis.
That's my BBO column for
okay.
I always think praying mantis. I think it's like a bug.
Okay. Whatever you guys need to remember it, but it's been a public company since going back to 2014. And it's having the same problem that some of the other large auto manufacturers have had when it comes to EVs. 22.2 billion euros in charges, much of were linked to unwinding Carlos Tavares' bets on EVs that were destined to be unprofitable. Carlos Tavares has been out of the company for more than a year, and they're still working to unwind some of those bets. Once again, Stellantis, the maker of Jeep, Chrysler, and more, falling by close to 24%.
And I'll just add, too, I just want to point out, software stocks did rebound on the day, but still down for a fourth straight week. All of the big names here are still sliding on a weekly basis, including Oracle and the like. Let's take a quick look here at what's been going on in the debt markets. We saw yields actually rise on the day, up about 4 basis points on the shorter end of the curve, a little bit less on the longer end of the curve. But we should point out, on a weekly basis, it was still to the downside all across the curve. In fact, a parallel move down here. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be a big part of the story. particularly as we get into next month and some of the freshen up economic data.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.